It's been over 30 years since we've had a brand new Shinobi game. The last one was on the Sega Genesis in 1993. And now, Sega's legendary ninja, Joe Musashi, is back. This is the very first of Sega's promised retro IP revivals to hit shelves, and after spending some serious time with the new demo, I've got a lot to share. So today, we're going to break down my first impressions of the gameplay, visuals, combat depth, and those light Metroidvania elements that caught me off guard. Remember, this is just the start. My full review will be coming at launch later this month. Alright, let's unsheath the basics before we start slicing into the details. And this new Shinobi is a side-scrolling 2D action platformer with a gorgeous hand-drawn art style from the same talented team that brought us Streets of Rage 4. You play as Joe Musashi, returning to find your village destroyed and your clan turned to stone. From there, it's a quest for vengeance, taking down an unparalleled evil and restoring your people. The game blends old-school ninja action with modern touches like accessibility options, deeper combo systems, and some surprisingly thoughtful exploration mechanics. Now, let's ninja flip into the action. Right from the start, the controls feel tight and deliberate. You've got strong and light attacks, double jumps, dashes, ninjitsu moves, and the incredibly satisfying Shinobi Executions system. As you fight, you fill an execution gauge beneath enemy health bars, and when it's ready, you can trigger a cinematic takedown for extra rewards. It's one of those mechanics that just clicks, and the more enemies you execute in a row, the better the rewards. Combos feel great to string together with simple inputs like YYXX, leading to long chains. I hit a 90 hit combo early on, and then later in the demo, I hit a combo that was over 120. Enemies telegraph special purple dark attacks that you can't interrupt or dodge, so paying attention to animations is key. The only way I was able to get around them in the demo was jumping over them, and I was successful, but I don't know how that will change later on in the game. The game also has elite squads hidden in each stage that act like shrine challenges almost, rewarding you with special amulets or upgraded abilities when you clear them. Another thing I really appreciated is how the stages aren't just straight left to right runs. There are branching paths, vertical climbs, and secret nooks that reward exploration. Sometimes these paths lead to hidden chests, other times to elite squad encounters, or even new abilities that change how you approach combat. The platforming itself has just enough bite to keep you on your toes, with well-timed dashes and double jumps, making the difference between clearing a gap and falling into danger. I also like that enemy placement feels intentional. Weaker foes teach you patterns and set up opportunities to experiment with combos, while tougher enemies demand you mix in executions, heavy strikes, or ninjitsu to survive. It's that balance of teaching, testing, and rewarding that make each encounter feel worthwhile instead of filler. By the end of the demo, I wasn't just playing Shinobi, I was starting to think like one. Visually, this ninja doesn't just cut, it slices, dices, and looks great doing it. In motion, the art style is truly stunning. The hand-drawn animation gives each character, from the grunts to the mini-bosses, a little bit of personality. The environments pop with color, but still keep that slightly gritty, revenge-driven tone. It's a mix of sharp, clean line work and expressive movement that reminds me why the Streets of Rage 4 team is so good at breathing new life into classic series. Seeing Joe Musashi rendered like this feels like the perfect way to modernize him without losing that 90s Sega soul. Before we jump into the sound and music of Shinobi, I want to take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. They sent me their Lotus Swivel Rocker Recliner, and it's been my go-to spot for both playing video games and writing my reviews, sometimes at the same time, which is exactly why I was excited to try it out. After a couple of hours of gameplay, my back started filing formal complaints. I felt like I just played full court 5-on-5 basketball, but I forgot to stretch. So I figured it's time to level up my seating situation. Huge thanks to today's sponsor, FlexiSpot, for sending over what might be the most comfortable boss battle I've ever sat in, the Lotus Swivel Rocker Recliner. This chair is built for marathon sessions, gaming, writing reviews, watching, or just vibing with your favorite soundtrack in the background. It's got a spacious 20.9-inch seat and 9.8-inch armrests, so no matter how you sit, sideways, slouched, or curled up with your pet, you've got plenty of room to get cozy. And this chair, it totally rocks. No, seriously, it not only rocks, but it swivels too. When it's break time, just lean back. The effortless reclining lets you kick your feet up and recharge in seconds. No awkward handles or fighting the chair. It's like unlocking a secret level called Maximum Chill. But the secret weapon? The adjustable end table. Total game changer. Before, I was that guy in the meme, laid back playing video games, then suddenly leaning forward like, alright, now I'm serious. Except in my case, I was scrambling to reach my laptop to take notes mid-review. Now, I'm staying reclined and writing as I play. If your current chair is doing more creaking than supporting, it's time for an upgrade. Check out the FlexiSpot Lotus Recliner using my code LOTUS30 for $30 off and free shipping. Hit the link in the description. Your back, your gameplay, and your note-taking game will thank you. Now let's tune into the music because even ninjas need a killer soundtrack. And if you know the name T. Lopes, you already know we're in good hands here. He's the talent behind amazing soundtracks like Sonic Mania and Streets of Rage 4, Penny's Big Breakaway, which I reviewed on this channel, and he's lending his skills now to Shinobi. The result? A soundtrack that mixes traditional Japanese instruments with his signature punchy modern style. And the audio design is top-notch. The opening cutscene is narrated in a way that both newcomers and longtime fans will appreciate, quickly catching you up on the stakes. Attacks have weighty, satisfying sound effects, and the shopkeeper's "What are you buying?"
Welcome to the yokai shop. What are you buying?
line is a unmistakable nod to Resident Evil 4, a fun touch for longtime gamers and something that definitely made me laugh out loud. The soundtrack itself blends traditional Japanese instrumentals with driving beats, making each stage feel distinct while keeping you in that focused ninja mindset. Story time, and yes, this one starts with Fire and Stone. The premise is classic revenge tale with a supernatural twist. Your clan is turned to stone, your home is in ruins, and you're the only one who can set things right. What impressed me is how quickly the demo made me care. The cutscene work is sharp, and the tone strikes the right balance between serious and stylish. It doesn't waste time getting you into the action, but it sets up enough intrigue to make me want to see where this whole quest story is going to lead. Now for the highlights. Think of this as my ninja scroll of pros and pros. One of the standout features for me is how well the accessibility options are handled. Just like in Ninja Gaiden, which I reviewed last week, you can choose between multiple difficulty modes: Novice, Apprentice, and Shinobi, plus a custom setting to fine-tune the experience. For the demo, I went straight for Shinobi mode, which is the hardest difficulty available right out of the gate, and I think it still felt fair and rewarding. I love that the game is challenging for veterans, but still approachable for newcomers, thanks to those adjustable settings, and I think that is what's going to help this game connect with a wider audience, which is what I want to see because I don't want to have to wait another 30 years for the next Shinobi game. Combine that with the deep combat, fluid executions, and light Metroidvania elements, and you've got a game that really respects both the old fans and new players. So, is Sega's comeback starting with a bang or a quiet ninja flip? If this demo is any indication, Sega is kicking off their comeback with a serious win. Shinobi looks great, feels fantastic to play, and already has the depth to keep me hooked. The mix of fluid combat, satisfying executions, and exploration keeps it feeling fresh. I am a huge fan of Metroidvania, so any sort of Metroidvania elements is a huge win to me. This could very well be one of the standout ninja games of the year. As we all know, we have a lot of ninja games this year, but I'm excited to see how the full version expands on what's already there. So expect my full review when it launches later this month. Alright guys, before I vanish in a puff of smoke, have you played the demo yet? Let me know your thoughts and favorite moves in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please press the like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss my full review at launch. And of course, check out the Nintendo Byte podcast every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Nintendo Prime, GameBird Classic, and Eric Moore for all the latest Nintendo news, Nintendo Directs, discussions, and returning guests each week. And as always, remember, you're never too old to play video games.